I'm Linda Gale from BNI Berkshire, Gloucestershire and Wiltshire. I'd like to welcome you to my BNI Meets regional spotlight series, where I sit down with some of our incredible members to share their stories, their successes, and the real benefits they've experienced through BNI. Each episode will dive into the business journeys of our members, learning about what they do, how they help others, and how the power of BNI connections have helped them to grow both personally and professionally. Whether you're already part of BNI or just curious about what makes this global business network so powerful, these conversations will give you an inside look at the relationships, referrals, and results that make BNI truly unique. So let's get started and meet today's featured member. And today I have with me the wonderful Cameron Lloyd from Bastion.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, you?
Very good, yeah, very good.
Good. So Cam's here this afternoon to tell us a little bit about his BNI journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite a long one, hasn't it, already?
That's now 11 years or so, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
Scary how fast it's gone. Scary. And then we're going to delve into a bit about Bastion and what you do as an amazing architect and create all these wonderful projects and houses and stuff.
Sounds good. I'll try my best.
Yeah. Cool. So firstly, how long have you been a BNI member and what chapter are you in?
So it's 11 years, actually. So, I mean, I was invited to my first meeting, what would have been 11 years, a couple of months ago. But it was a core group at the time. So Ascot is the chapter that I was invited to. So that was a group that was being started and I got invited along. And then that was launched in the October, 11 years ago. Yeah, so 11 years as an official BNI member.
God, have I known you 11 years?
I know.
Flipping out. That's frightening, isn't it? Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, can you share a particular referral or collaboration that's come directly through BNI?
I mean, crikey. A particular one. Referral or collaboration. I mean, I've got a really good one actually, which is I got referred to a property developer by a planning consultant who was a visitor to a chapter meeting that I wasn't at.
Wow.
So I was unable to make that meeting. I had someone go and sub for me, represent my business for me. A planning consultant was a visitor that day, heard my presentation, took my details, referred me on to a planning consultant, and they gave me a referral, and we did 5 houses for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So by not even being at a meeting, I mean, maybe that was the benefit. And that's the reason why we got it, because I wasn't there. But yeah, that was the kind of ilk of how successful BNI's been to us. Really, it's been phenomenal.
Well, it just shows, doesn't it? If you're not there, you never know who's going to be in the room.
And it's important if you're not there that whoever is there for you is the right person for you. So yeah, and that was that was the sort of story of the day for me for that one, I guess.
Yeah, perfect, cool. What was your initial expectation of BNI, and how has the reality compared?
Wow, that's a great question. So I was invited to BNI by a family member who almost made me think it was going to be meeting at a greasy spoon, having a chat with some tradesmen. They might be able to sort of, pass me on some business. I'd literally just started working for myself. I'd been working in architecture for a company for 11 years, and I just kind of just decided I was going to do my own thing. And my family member took me along and said, we've been doing pretty good out this so far. Come and meet some people. He was in the trade as well, so I just kind of expected to turn up, like I say, to a coffee house, get a breakfast, bacon butty, right, a cup of tea, and talk to some builders or something. But I kind of walked in, and it was a wall of suits, very professional people, but super friendly. So I had absolutely no idea what I was walking into when I first stepped foot through the door. It wasn't even remotely what I was expecting, but what unfolded off the back of that has just been life-changing in more ways than one. Yeah.
How has BNI impacted your confidence or clarity in how you talk about Bastion?
Wow. How's it impacted my confidence? I mean, there's an enormous part of BNI that I think is massively undervalued, and that's the opportunity, I think, for personal development. So being able to kind of throw both feet in and take on every opportunity to improve yourself, in more than ways than one, And I kind of like the idea of professionally and personally developing my ability to be able to speak to people, speak in public, have a confidence to talk in any scenario, in any situation. And I saw that because it makes me better at what I do. So for our business, I'm very much the front face, the kind of customer facing side of it. And being able to talk confidently, coherently, concisely with prospects, and be able to get over why we as a business are right for them, is almost entirely down to the development and the kind of having to learn this as a skill set. Talking in front of fellow business owners and peers, and using every opportunity I can to personally and professionally develop myself. It has made me a better business owner in terms of how I talk to clients and how I present our business and how I present myself to clients. That's, I owe an enormous amount to BNI for that, really.
And you spoke at a conference this year?
I have done. It was a massive personal milestone for me. That my first conference I went to was back in 2019, and I kind of left that in awe of people that did it. You kind of go to these things and you think that they're kind of people that are bought in as kind of professional speakers, and then you realize, you realize they use idiots like me. But watching people do that and seeing the power that they had, like the impact that those people had on me, and just by talking about what success they'd had or what they found that worked for them, and inspiring people to do that is inspiring in itself. So I had it as a personal kind of milestone, a personal goal to be able to do that. And I was given a huge honor of being able to do that this year, and it was a huge honor, and I'm eternally thankful for the opportunity that I was given for that.
No, I get that. I mean, I've spoken at conference 3 times now, and every year I'm as nervous as anything, but when you're done and you've got your story across and you just
no one makes as many people cry as you do that.
No, I'm quite good at making people cry.
I think I was faced with people who pitied me. You were faced with people who were crying in admiration for what you were talking about.
Wow. What surprised you most about being part of BNI?
What surprised me most about it? That I actually enjoy working with people, I think. So, because when I first, I've been in it 11 years now, and I'll be honest and say that I didn't realize I liked helping people as much as I actually enjoy helping people. It's definitely a bit of a discovery since doing this. So being given the opportunity to be on the regional support team and support other people and support other business owners and just help them without any expectation for anything in return. I'll be honest, 11 years ago was not part of my makeup. That's not who I was.
No.
That's something that I have found out about myself. So that ability to be able to help people is just, it's a feel good factor in itself. Having had that, I think
there was another thing that happened for your BNI journey that completely transformed the way you look at it as well, was a certain little ski trip that you came on once.
Again, not knowing what to expect on that, having never been skiing or snowboarding before. I would never have thrown myself into anything like that, but the first time I did that, and then I was very, very lucky that particular year, the trip we went on, the people that came on that trip, that was eye-opening in itself.
Always the one.
Yeah, totally. But again, I think this is what kind of rubs off on you. Like before that, I would say to an element, I quite like helping people, but not to the extent that I realised I did. And I saw how much other people were prepared to help me just because of who they are, with no expectation in return. That definitely rubs off on you, and it becomes inspiring in itself. And I think that trip above all, that first time I went, and when I'm about to have my 7th, I think now, like it next year. So that trip, I think, was a bit of a life-changing moment in terms of what I saw BNI has as an opportunity for me, in terms of professionally, because it's led to huge amounts of business. The referrals and the introductions that have come off the people I met on that trip, but the personal side of it, the friendships, the people that I know I could call at any time of day and ask them for anything and they would give it, and that's, you just don't get that without those kind of environments and those kind of situations. Incredibly grateful for that.
And I think the friendship circles that you make on trips like that as well. I know the guys down in Bromley and Croydon, and Chris and Sue and Greg, and then people all up and down the country. I know you've been over to play golf with Dan recently. It's just the whole breadth of these relationships just goes so far beyond our region.
Yeah, and it's the part that makes me pity anyone that doesn't have that in
Yeah.
terms of the people that try and do business on their own.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, people ask me, why BNI? And I'm like, because it's a nice way to do business. Right?
Yeah.
It's business first, obviously. I'm accountable to my business partner and my colleagues, my staff. I'm accountable that it has to work from a business point of view. This is not just a personal dream of mine.
Yeah.
But it's the nicest way, I think, to do business, where you just kind of get to know people, build relationships with people, and these are people that I'll love and care for the rest of my life. So yeah, I'm incredibly thankful for that. I don't think there's that many walks of life where you can still kind of get new friends when you're an adult. It's like an underwritten thing, I think. So yeah, being able to meet people and forge brilliant relationships with people up and down the country.
Yeah.
I'll never take that for granted. That's been massive for us and for me.
Nice. Okay. Do you approach networking differently because of BNI?
Do I approach networking differently? Yes, because I am the first person to tell you that I'm a terrible networker. I still am a terrible networker. And I mean that because I'm brilliant at referrals. I understand referrals really well, I think. And I've got good stats to back up that I know how referrals work, right? Both in terms of what it generates for me and my business, but what I'm able to generate for others by word of mouth, effectively, referrals.
Yeah.
So I'm great at referral marketing, which fundamentally is what BNI is, but I still have a long way to go to be a great networker. And I'm the networker that goes into a room and finds the first person I know and then beelines for them, right? That's a terrible networker.
Ditto. Yeah.
Because I'm all about quality over quantity in terms of the connections that I have. So it's about fostering and forging brilliant relationships, not trying to collect business cards of people.
Yeah.
But from a networking point of view, it's taught me a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's taught me the ability to be able to effectively introduce myself and help people to understand what I'm looking for, how they can help me, where to find it, and what to say on my behalf.
Yeah.
But that's the referral marketing side of it.
Yeah.
That's the bit. So, but in terms of networking, I still have a long way to go to be a great. And there are some great networkers in BNI and in other networking organisations that I've met. But it's taught me everything I know about networking. Networking was not something I had even contemplated before being a BNI. But yeah, I still have a lot to learn.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Now I want to talk more about Bastion.
Great. Okay.
So let's start with your core work. What sets your architectural approach apart, and what do you offer your clients that they might not get elsewhere?
Yep. What sets us apart is, first off, it's not just me. So the practice is an architect's practice. I am not an architect. I was trained in architectural technology, and then myself and my business partner, so my business partner actually set up a company 14 years ago, and then I took over half of it with him 11 years ago, and we ran it as an architect practice. So we employ architects and we employ technologists, but what sets us apart is because we have it's the collaboration part, I think, coming back to BNI, that is how I think we wanted to build the company. We are specialists, not generalists.
Yep.
So we have architects, as for designing. We've got technologists for the technical part, planning consultants for the planning part, project managers for the project managing part. There's someone within the company that handles each part of the project, which is their specialism.
Right.
And I think that's possibly what separates us. And it's one of the reasons why myself and my business partner didn't want to call the company after us, our name. There's a lot of architecture practices that it's their name. We never wanted our name above the door. It was all about what do we stand for as a company, and that we always saw ourselves as a sort of safe place, kind of people could rely on us, this kind of trustworthiness, and it was this reliability, and the name Bastion came from that as a concept. Really, it's a safe haven. If you're the bastion of something, you're the protector of it. Yeah. So we saw ourselves as bastions of architecture, basically. So
nice.
What do we get? What do people get that they don't perhaps get with others? It's possibly that. It's that kind of we treat customers kind of with care and respect, that we're a safe place for them to come, that will guide them quite patiently through each step of it.
Yeah.
With specialists at each different stage that's required for their project. So
okay.
And in terms of core business, we're we're a residential and commercial architecture practice.
Okay.
I would say 90% of our business is residential, so it's homeowners.
Yeah.
Extending their home, new homes. But then, like I said, I did 11 years in architecture and commercial architecture, so we're very lucky to have some commercial clients as well.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. How do you balance aesthetics with functionality when designing for clients, and especially when budgets and timelines are tight?
Aesthetics and functionality, yeah. Well, first off, I think you need to understand what a client's brief is, and sometimes help clients help them understand what the brief is, because quite often they'll think the brief is what they want to build. Like they'll come to you and say, we want a single story extension or a 2-story extension, and we want it to look like this.
Yeah.
I mean, their brief really is what lifestyle they want. We sell lifestyles more than anything. What is it they don't have right now that they want in their life?
Yeah.
And whether that's single story, 2-story, new house, whatever that is. The part about aesthetics and functionality sometimes can come down to budget. Like how much of your budget do you want to dedicate to the aesthetic side of it, and how much do you want to dedicate to the kind of functionality? And the beauty is trying to find something that meets both sort of grounds, really. Yeah, absolutely. So it looks and feels like they want it to look and feel, but also it actually delivers what they need. Not sometimes not what they want, but actually what they need. And sometimes because they don't know what they need, they think they know what they want. And it's helping them to understand that. And that's the real skill, I think, of an architect or an architecture practice, is actually interrogating the brief and helping the client along to that point, really.
Yeah. Nice. Perfect. Okie dokie. Let's talk about the franchise.
Yes.
What inspired you to create a franchise model for Bastion?
Twofold, really. One was I wanted to, from a business owner's point of view, I wanted to try and establish a part of the business that wasn't reliant on me. I think that's the common flaw that I think service-based companies like myself can fall into, is that I never wanted just to create a job for myself. I wanted to be able to, if I wanted to or had to step away from the business, it could still run without us. And the franchise model was something that intrigued myself and my business partner to look into for that. We wanted to grow the company, like all kind of ambitious business owners do. But it was trying to grow it in a way that wasn't overly reliant on us being there. So that was one avenue for it. But the other main side of it was as I mentioned, we're kind of have people in different parts of the company that's their specialism. So this kind of collaborative emphasis is massive about how we do what we do. So having the opportunity to help people to do what we do that aren't perhaps aren't perhaps confident enough to go and do it on their own, take that step and do it on their own. We wanted them to, again, be a safe place where they could be ready day one, run their own practice, but also have the support and collaboration of people around them. And the idea is to grow the franchisees so that they all work kind of in tandem together. So some of them will be really specialists in this part, some of them might be specialists in that part, and they can perhaps collaborate and work with each other. Some of them will want to work in that area of the country, some of them work in that area of the country, but they might be able to potentially refer business to one another. And it's that kind of mentality. We want to get to this idea where we're all kind of working together, but they're definitely growing their own business and their own practice. And it was that opportunity to find a way to grow the business for mine and my business partner's sake, don't get me wrong, but doing it in a nice way where we help them.
It's giving them opportunity as well, isn't it? That that they haven't got to go through all of that stuff, that the work that you've already done to build Bastion. They haven't got to rewrite it all. And
that's it. This kind of, like any franchise, any good franchise, you're ready day one, and it's that we can market for them, immediately. And support them. And like I said, the franchisee that we've got up in South Lancashire came from a commercial architecture background. Never worked in residential. Really, kind of wanted to get into residential because he was passionate about helping people, not just helping, corporations and companies with their bottom line numbers on projects. And that's sadly what a lot of commercial architecture is about. But he wanted the opportunity to work for homeowners and change families' lives, which is a really nice way to go about it. But being able to help him, guide him, and support him through what that looks like and how you actually do that process.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal architect, but
Yeah.
perhaps doesn't have that understanding and that knowledge of how to manage clients like that. And that's what we've been able to help him with. So it's been able to take on board and effectively guide and manage them through that process is been really rewarding, and we really want to really want to kick on with that, really.
Excellent. Cool. Okay. So for an architect thinking about joining the franchise, what kind of person or firm is the ideal fit?
The ideal person would be, ideal to kind of how I just described the franchisee we got in South Lancashire now. If I had to describe them as an avatar, they're probably feeling a bit downbeat about just constantly working on commercial projects. Or when you work for big architecture practices, typically you're the small part of a big machine, right? A small cog in a big machine, and you just do the same thing over and over again. It's quite unrewarding. Mm-hmm. And I know this from personal experience. I worked 11 years in commercial architecture, and you can be working on a project for 5 years and never see it.
Wow.
Which is great in some ways, but it can be quite unrewarding.
Yeah.
Whereas if you wanted to come and work in residential, you could be designing it today and you could see it built in 12, 18 months, and you can sit back and go, I did that. So there's an element of that. It's people who kind of want to feel like they're a big part of their life, the big part of their company. So they want this ambition to work for themselves, but are perhaps too nervous to take that step and do it themselves.
Yeah.
So being able to come in and we can help and support them through that journey.
And you've gone through all those pitfalls and stuff before doing it yourself, so you can.
Yeah, we've trod the hard path for them, really, and learned a lot of the mistakes along the way. So, like I say, customer avatar, perhaps people that want to effectively become masters of their own destiny and do this for themselves, but kind of don't have the confidence to take that leap, because that's ultimately what it's about, really. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So looking ahead, what's your vision for how architectural firms and possibly the franchise will evolve in the next 5 to 10 years?
It would be remiss of me to say that we're, like most people, under threat of AI. I guess that's not a lot of people will feel, especially in kind of sort of industries like ours. I think we've just got to kind of evolve with it, really. I've been in architecture long enough to know that when various different pieces of software came out and people thought it was the end, people who used to draw by hand would have thought that when CAD came out, that was the end. And when people were working on CAD and 3D came out, that's the end. Yeah. So I'm not pessimistic to think it's the end. I think we just have to embrace it and figure out how we can make it work for us. And from everything I've seen of AI so far, AI can design you can design you a house, but that's just it. They can design you a house.
Yeah.
Really, the skill of what we do is actually getting to know people and finding out what is it that they are looking for. Maybe not what they think they want. Actually, what do they want? What's going to really make a life-changing sort of project for them. Yeah. So I think we'll have to at some point try and figure out how we embrace and make it work for us. That this AI aspect, and we haven't even scratched the surface of what that might look like for us. But I worked for a company that was massively hit by the recession when the recession hit. Right. So back in 2008, I think the company when I first started working there was 120, and by the time they'd finished with the redundancies, it was down to 35. So I've seen the impact of what recessions do to this industry. And the one thing I learned from that was never just to become reliant on one source of work or one. Yeah. And that's kind of where, coming back to BNI and referral marketing, having multiple avenues of people to refer us business, but also as a practice, doing residential, doing commercial, we do try to keep a sort of broad idea about the kind of business and the kind of companies and the kind of industries that we can and do work in, just to sort of protect ourselves a little bit. Yeah. But also the commercial projects make us better with residential, and the residential stuff makes us better at commercial. So I think the industries, the casualties, I think, of the industry of our R&E will be the ones that that stay quite sort of singular in what they do and how they do it. I think we have to try and move with it a little bit. Yeah.
Well, and it's impossible to build a relationship with a bot, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
And, what bots are going to refer you on to other people? You do a good project for somebody that you've built a relationship with, they're going to forward you on. That whole referral marketing thing, they're just going to keep wanting to refer you because you've done a really good service for them.
We have actually had a referral from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT recommended us to someone, and they approached us. Yeah, so at the moment it's in my good books. So, so we just need to keep training ChatGPT just to punt people our way. Yeah.
Nice, perfect. Well, thank you.
No, thank you. It's been
a good insight into Bastion and to your BNI journey, and long may it continue.
Yeah.
Another
absolutely.
11 years, mate, at least.
I'll be retired by then. Yeah. On a beach somewhere. Yeah.
Perfect.
No,
thank you.
Thank
Cam.
you. Yeah. No,
Thanks.
thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
No worries.
Brilliant.
Cheers. Okay, that's it for today's episode of my BNI Meets Regional Spotlight series. Big thank you to our guests for sharing their stories and insights with us. If you've been inspired by what you've heard and want to discover how BNI could help your business grow through referrals, relationships, and real results, we'd love to hear from you. Get in touch with me or your local BNI region. You can email me at linda@bni-bgw.co.uk to find out how you can experience the power of BNI for yourself. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe so you never miss another inspiring story from one of our BNI members. See you all next time. Thank you.